No way he just said this, as 2 months after the trade, Kaapo Kakko has called out the Rangers organization and some of the decisions that were made in his time here. We're also going to get into something that the team is doing that will have Rangers fans fired up. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, we are so close to our goal of 7,000 subscribers. So shout out to all 6,400 of you who have subscribed to the channel along for this crazy ride of this Rangers season, driving for the playoffs. So if you have not subscribed yet, it's free. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help us get to our goal of 7,000 subscribers. Your support has been unbelievable. But in today's video, we will highlight the positive first. And something I wanted to mention that will have Rangers fans fired up is that on March 22nd of this year, the Rangers will hold a Salute to Sam, an event on March 22nd to celebrate the 40-year career of play-by-play announcer Sam Rosen, who is retiring at the end of this season. What a send-off it would be if they sent him off into the playoffs. That would be great. Obviously, this team had Stanley Cup aspirations coming into this year. I mean, that is the fact of the matter. That's what we were talking about in August and September, but has not worked out that way. So they do have an opportunity to have a pretty fun send-off for Sam Rosen to a degree. And it will feature a pregame ceremony prior to their home game against the Vancouver Canucks. And I think that was very cool of the team to announce that. And again, from Peter Baugh, there will be a bunch of stuff. Obviously, the pregame on-ice ceremony, and will feature a special Rosen-themed experiences and entertainment in the arena for fans to enjoy. So a real nice send-off there and gesture from the teams themselves. So I wanted to highlight that just to kick off the video with some positives. But we have to get to something that has been rumbling since the Four Nations face-off has begun, and that is Kaapo Kakko. He is obviously, former Ranger playing on Team Finland. Not playing yet. He was a healthy scratch yesterday, which I think some Rangers fans could get a kick out of. He did not play in that game. Healthy scratch, and he did sit down with Molly Walker, and Molly Walker's been doing fantastic work covering the team all year, and obviously, is at the Four Nations covering that because the Rangers have a plethora of players at the Four Nations, including, obviously Vakanainen on Finland. That's another guy that people tend to forget sometimes, but yes, he is a New York Ranger playing on Team Finland. But Kaapo Kakko went on to say, even sometimes, like in New York, I thought I'm not in good shape or something sitting on the bench for a long time between shifts. And then he went on to say, now I feel every game is going to come at some point. And he sat down and opened up to Molly Walker on his assessment on why it didn't work out in New York and how an expanded role has elevated his game. Now, a lot of people are clowning Rangers fans and the Rangers organization for trading this guy because he has been putting up more points in Seattle, right? It's not shocking to me, though, the fact that he is putting up more points in Seattle. And if you look at his point totals this year, they did not look like this at all when he left New York. I think he had like 20 points when he left New York in 30-something games, let's say. And it was not going well. And his time on ice was somewhere around, I think, 10 or 11 minutes, right? So that has increased as well. And he's been given a more of an offensive role in Seattle, and not even more of an offensive role, just more minutes and a bigger role. And I mean, it's no surprise that he's playing better in Seattle, right? Like, I'm not surprised whatsoever that this player has finally taken off because he needed a better opportunity. But like I've always said on this situation on this channel, it is a two-way street. Yes, the Rangers probably didn't put him in the best position to succeed, but he wasn't doing anything with his minutes that would suggest, yes, we need to bump this player up a line, especially when you had some of the talent that you had on the team last year, which is pretty much the same talent this year. But obviously over the last couple of years, like, you're not going to play Kaapo Kakko on the top line over Alexis Lafreniere at the end of last season. It's just not going to happen, right? So it's a two-way street, and I've always said that about this situation. Did they put him in the best position to succeed? No, but did he do anything with the minutes that he was given to suggest, hey, I need to be playing more, I need to be in all situations? No, he didn't do that either. So I think it was a two-way street in that way. And, Kaapo Kakko then went on to say on being benched, I was surprised. Yeah, I think it's just easy to pick a young guy and boot him out. That's how I feel, to be honest. I have not been the worst guy, but that was me out of the lineup. And there's a lot of politics, in hockey sometimes too. Like, you're not I understand it from Peter Laviolette's point of view too. Like, do we really think he's going to scratch a guy that's making more than $8 million over a guy like Kaapo Kakko? No. Even if they deserve it, it's just not going to happen. It rarely happens. So I didn't see that happening, but he wasn't wrong either. That's the most difficult part about this whole situation. The fact that this has been opened up again 2 months later after the trade because of the Four Nations face-off. But again, like, was he the worst guy? Should he have been scratched at the time? Probably not. But again, you're not going to scratch the guy who's making $8 million because you need to rely on that guy to score for your team, right? So again, my personal thoughts on this situation, I thought it was a two-way street. You know, obviously the team, they could have given him a better opportunity. Maybe he plays with better line mates. Maybe he's playing higher in the lineup. But he didn't do anything with his minutes, right? He did very minimal. He did look good in the playoffs, and now he looks good in Seattle because he's playing top line minutes, right? So a lot of people like to clown on Rangers fans for that reason, but listen, like, you know, we knew that was going to happen. Now, to move on to another topic, Brett Berard. You know, we talked about a lot about Brendan Othmann over the last couple of days and other players as well. Brett Berard is another guy who's been fantastic this season, both at the AHL level and honestly, the NHL level. He's looked good when he's been up. It makes sense as to why he's not up right now. You don't want him scratched. Obviously, you acquired Artur Kaliev off waivers. You have a lot of moving parts right now. Obviously, Edstrom is hurt, but VC's back too in the lineup. So it makes sense for him to be back in the AHL, at least playing games. You don't want this guy to be sitting in the press box, not doing anything, not gaining experience. So it does make sense in that way. And there's no room for pouting if he wants to make it back. They're always watching, so you've got to play your best. And yes, they are always watching. And I thought some of these quotes were very good from Brett Berard down in the AHL. When they're telling you you're coming back here, it stinks in the moment, he said, but it's an awesome organization. I'm still young, trying to build upon my game, and I got thrown back in with Hartford. We played that Sunday. I got sent down Saturday. So there wasn't much time to dwell on that. You have to get back on the ice every game, every practice down here. They're always watching, so you've got to play your best, no matter if the day before you got sent down or if you're months into the season. I love that attitude. I love the attitude. And he's absolutely right. I love that he can see exactly what they're doing. They're not sending him down as a demotion, right? Or that he's playing bad. You're playing very well, but we don't have a spot for you to really, find success here right now. So we're going to send you back down. You're going to play a ton of minutes and you're going to play well. And, he assisted Brendan Othmann's goal the other day, or actually I think it was Eric Brandstrom's goal that he got an assist on. But still, he's getting a couple points down there in the AHL. Not just that, it's the way he's playing. He's hard along the boards, right? He's playing a heavy type of game. This guy goes after pucks. He's hard on the forecheck, right? So just seeing these little things in his game will translate to the NHL level if he continues to do it. And he's right. They're always watching. If somebody gets hurt, if somebody's not playing well, they could call you up if the cap space allows for it. So keep doing your thing and continue to develop. He understands that. So I think that's a great mindset for one of the Rangers prospects to have. And this is from the coach down there in Hartford as well. You're starting to see that speed that he's got. You're starting to see those scoring chances. He plays a lot of minutes for us, and he's never lacking energy. And that's one thing I've always loved about Brett Berard. I mentioned it on the channel before, that he is never lacking energy, and he's one of the first guys on the puck every single time on the forecheck. There was a couple games, in December, in January, where the Rangers at times looked a little sluggish, a little slow. They weren't tracking pucks, and he's the first one in on the forecheck and creating these scoring chances, creating this chaos. So I think he's going to be a really good player for the Rangers, maybe down the stretch here this season. We don't know what's going to happen still. It looks like the Rangers are going to make a couple more moves, maybe freeing up salary cap space for next season to go out and get a Mikko Rantanen type player. I think it could be interesting. So, we might see him again. We could see Brendan Othmann, but I think that, looking towards the future, he's another guy that I think is going to make an impact in the future if the Rangers are patient and take their time developing him, because of course that's been a theme forever at this point with the New York Rangers. But let me know in the comments what you think of Sam Rosen, night that's coming up here on March 22nd. I think that's a great gesture from the team. Let me know what you think of Kaapo Kakko's comments. I've always thought it was a two-way street with this team. He needed a change of scenery, and it's no surprise to me that he's finding success over in Seattle. And obviously, let me know what you think about Brett Berard and some of the younger guys in the Hartford system. I think we're going to see Brendan Othmann sooner than we realize. Right after the Four Nations face-off, he's been playing really, really well. So let me know what you think, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.